In this video, I'll answer 3 questions. What are gel injections? How do you increase the likelihood that gel injections will help your knee pain? And what's an alternative to gel injections? When clients ask me about gel injections, the gel that they're referring to is typically hyaluronic acid, a substance to cushion and lubricate the knee joint. This is also known as viscosupplementation. It involves inserting the hyaluronic acid into the knee through a needle. Sometimes the dose is given all at once, sometimes it's divided into 3 or more injections, spread out roughly a week apart. While gel injections don't work for everyone, some people get temporary or partial knee pain relief for a few months or sometimes up to a year. In many cases, these injections may also be repeated as often as every 6 months. The purpose of gel injections is to increase the viscosity or the thickness of the fluid inside your knee. Healthy joint fluid is thick, like the consistency of egg whites, and it protects your joint surface. It specifically protects the cartilage covering the end of the thigh bone, the back of the kneecap, and the top of your shin bone. Healthy joint fluid acts like a lubricant and a shock absorber for the cartilage. But when your cartilage gets weaker, which happens with chondromalacia and with osteoarthritis, microscopic pieces of cartilage inside the knee joint shear off during your activities and exercise. And then these microscopic bits of cartilage float around inside the knee, eventually contacting and irritating the lining on the inside of the knee. This irritation causes thinner, more watery joint fluid to be produced. The recommendations immediately after gel injections usually include avoiding hard weight-bearing activity for a certain period of time and gradually resuming normal activities. These recommendations are pretty vague, and so it's difficult for most people to follow them. Because what constitutes a hard weight-bearing activity will vary based on your fitness level and how severe your arthritis or chondromalacia is, and because normal activities for one person may be hiking and household chores, but for another person, normal activities may include running and weightlifting. All of these normal activities stress the knee in different amounts. So someone who gets gel injections shouldn't return to all of these activities at the exact same time. In fact, it might take a few weeks to return to light housework without knee pain and more than 3 months to start running again. The more challenging the normal activity is, the more time and preparatory exercises that will be required before it's possible to return to that activity without any knee pain. Based on my experience working with hundreds of clients with persistent knee pain, I believe what determines whether gel injections help or not is related to performing the right type and the right amount of activity and exercises after the injections. I use a twofold process to help clients figure out what activities are best for them. Part 1 is determining specifically how much activity the knee joint can tolerate without causing the pain and thinner fluid to come back. Once you know what this level is, you can plan to temporarily avoid the activities that overload or hurt your knees. Temporarily avoiding certain activities following the gel injections is important, but so is performing the right types and amount of exercise. Part 2 involves prescribing the correct dosage, the type and amount of exercise for the knee. This eliminates the guesswork of how to resume normal activities. But let's say you're not planning to get gel injections, either because you're not a candidate for them or you're not a fan of needles. There is another option. By gently using the muscles on the front of your thigh, you can increase the thickness inside your knee without getting injections. The safe and simple way to do this is by performing an exercise known as a quad set. It needs to feel good or neutral, and it needs to be done frequently throughout the day. For details about how to optimally perform the quad sets and why they work, watch my YouTube video entitled The Ultimate Guide to Quad Sets. at the end of this video, I'll provide you with a link to watch it. The quad sets are extremely helpful, but you'll also need the two-part approach of temporarily avoiding activities that hurt your knees and performing specific amounts and types of exercises to prepare your knees for your desired activity. For more information on eliminating persistent knee pain, subscribe to this YouTube channel and to the Kurtz Coaching website email list.